So, well, Baba, why have you? There are four sentiments that are often expressed by our young brothers and sisters when we engage them, our FBA family, and they are our family. And when they express them, what they'll say is, well, like Baba James, he aligns with us. But I want to share these four sentiments with you, and I can do it one at a time, or I can give you all four. And I want you to be able to just
do all four, and I can respond, because if I'm late for my sister's birthday, she's gonna kill me.
Gotcha. All right, so I'll give you all four. I'll give you all four. So these are four of the most common like anti-African sentiments we hear being expressed by some of our brothers and sisters. The first one is Black people in America are not African and have no connection to Africa. We're Native Black Americans. That's one. The second one is Black people in America may be genetically African, but so is the entire planet. Everybody on Earth is African. That's two. The third one is African people on the continent don't refer to themselves as Africans. We're the only ones who call ourselves Africans. That's three. And the fourth one is Black Americans are the only ones who practice Pan-Africanism. Those are the four most common kind of like retorts that we hear. And they always say, well, Baba James Smalls agrees with us. Like,
well, Baba James Smalls going to tell him, I don't agree to none of that shit I just heard, because none of it makes sense. You're going to give me the white slop and then give it a name like Foundation of Black America. Don't label me with slop. Now, if you use that because you're trying to find an identity, I'll help you with that, because you deserve to have your own identity like everybody.
Yes.
But don't bring the same white slop. And let me be clear, my FDA brothers and sisters, I love them. I am not going to abandon them. I am going to teach them. And I am going to work to get them to see, because the ones I've met, these are not young people who hate Africa. They just don't friggin' know.
They don't know what they don't know.
Yes, indeed. So now, recently, there was you were on a broadcast on a YouTube stream, and there was a dude who's kind of known in our circles as being a troll, and he gave you some real. He basically lied to you and gave you some misinformation about some of the stuff that we've said, and then tried to use you against me, and some of these other trolls tried to use your words against me. How do you feel about that, sir?
Right. Well, part of it is the young man, Omawali, called me yesterday. And his position, he says, I wasn't the one putting that out there like that. And I said, what do you mean? I said because, I couldn't find him. I had the name wrong.
Yeah.
And when I found the name in my phone, he called me just as I found the name. And he says, listen, because I did this little piece, I was trying to get it right on Twitter. Calling people out for doing that, because I'm saying, wait a minute, that was not what really happened.
Right.
Now, he did raise these things about Foundation of Black America. And I go like, these are my children, I think is the term I use, and I love them. You got to understand it. If I think my children have any issues, I'm going to argue with them to get the issues right. Right? If they made any statements wrong, then I'm not going to stab them in the back or talk to them about behind their back. Now, if you call me and say, Brother Small, I heard something about Tariq, is that right? I would have told you, no, that ain't right. You've been misinformed. And so when I did the show with the young people, because they'd call me, and I do a lot of shows with young people call me, and most of the times I don't know who they are beforehand, and a lot of times it's the first time. And then we had a pretty, what I thought was a decent discussion with me explaining what Pan-Africanism is, explaining what Foundation of Black American is, and tell them I'm both.
Explaining what Foundation of Black American is, and tell them I'm both.
Foundation of Black American, that we have a right to identify ourselves in the same way any other ethnic group. And I think I used the Jamaican community. They don't call themselves African, they call themselves Jamaicans.
Right, absolutely.
The people from Haiti don't say I'm African, they say I'm Haitian. And we find no contradiction with that. We're the only group in North America that use the term African to describe ourselves. I give Omaweli credit in that he was man enough to call me yesterday and said, and I said, well, what is your beef for Tariq? And he gave some critique about Pan-Africanism and your view on Pan-Africanism or attack of Pan-Africanism. And I gave him my view on you and what I think your view is. And I told him that, you know, the work that you have done bespeaks itself. Now they try to take you out of the picture with the work. I'm still suffering with that.
Yeah.
But then what happened after the show, I started looking, you know, I just going around internet and had people taking little pieces of what I had said and using that to say I'm attacking you.
Right, right.
And that's what pissed me off, because usually I don't get involved in none of this tete-a-tete kind of stuff. So I had to then try to say, okay, let me make a statement. Anyone that took what I said in that show and twisted to be an attack on you was being straight up evil. Collaborators, if not agent themselves.
Yes, indeed.
I don't like to call people agents straight up. But collaborators can come from just being ignorant or selfish or being anti-freedom. Notwithstanding, I'm saying to my friends, this thing is 2 hours. In the 2 hours, I'm praising Africa. I'm praising Pan-Africanism. But I was trying to settle an argument where the brothers from the continent were siding with the Arabs and the Asians against the African-American youth merchants, okay? And it pissed me off.
Yeah.
And so when I hear people going and attacking you, and when I ask them, why are you attacking? I mean, you can have a reason to criticize a brother. That's one thing. The criticism is one thing. Outright attack, defaming, that's something else.
Absolutely.
And that's what I'm seeing on the internet. There's defamation because somebody disagreed with something that you said. I've watched your work. I choose to work with you.